Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Your Story Matters with Dr. Kimberly Edwards, yours truly. I'm so honored and delighted that each and every one of you are joining us this evening. Go ahead and get your watch party started. Share this live video. Share. We want this testimony be shared with the masses. And so go ahead and start your live, your watch party. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time joining me, go ahead and put 1 in the comment. I'm so delighted that you are joining us this evening. If you are returning, we're so honored to have you. Go ahead and drop a couple of comments there. Would love to acknowledge you. Hello, Natasha. Welcome to Your Story Matters. We're grateful that you returned. Again, if you are returning, go ahead and drop a comment. Say hello. Good evening, Lisa. Good evening, Sylvia. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and get your watch party started. We want this story to be shared with the masses. It's truly going to impact and change so many people's lives. And so we don't want people to miss it. But hello, Icy. Thanks so much for joining. We are grateful that you are joining. And for those that may be listening to, once this is concluded, the replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments. That way we can go back and acknowledge you for joining us. And we're so honored that you took the time out of this evening to actually join Your Story Matters. So we're going to give it just 2 more minutes or so and get started. Hello, Jacob. Say hello. All right. Hello, Miss Sarah. Hello, Carolyn. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, Zuleika. Welcome. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Patricia. Welcome. We are so grateful that you guys have joined us this evening. Hello, Raheem. Thanks so much for joining. We're honored and delighted that you took the time. And again, if this is your first time, go ahead and put number 1 in the comments. If you are returning, say hello, say good evening. Hello, Kimberly. How are you? Thanks so much for joining. But again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are, returning, go ahead and make a comment. Hello, Keisha. We welcome you again. And if you are listening to the replay once this is concluded, please put replay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm so excited about being here this evening to share with you guys some great information about our amazing company. And we have a special guest tonight, and I'm so honored to have her tonight, and I'll actually introduce her very shortly. But tonight, I'd like to share with you just a few things with you as it relates to Total Life Changes. Total Life Changes is a company that is debt-free, based out of Chesterfield, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, this company was founded by our CEO, Mr. Jack Fallon. Mr. Jack Fallon, you guys, is the most humble individual I have ever met as a CEO. And I'm so honored to know that I've had the opportunity to spend some time with him. And I'm grateful to know that this man, he eats, just breathes this company. And I'm just so excited because of his commitment to this amazing company. You guys, we have really great products that are very intentional and impactful, that are changing so many people's lives. And I can tell you that we service well over 150 countries with customers and as well as life changers. And we're excited tonight to share with you that not only does TLC is in the U.S., which they've been in the U.S. now for 5 years, 3 dynamic couples actually launched the U.S. market. Shantae and Kenny Lloyd out of Houston, Texas. Our own Greg and Lanika Scott, executive ambassadors out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And then our executive ambassadors out of Houston, Texas, Miss Twila Portis and her husband, the late Erwin Portis. And so, ladies and gentlemen, they actually launched the U.S. market and it took it by storm. This company, when they actually started launching in the U.S., went from 10 million just 5 years ago to now 150 million in revenue. Incredible growth. And so now we're about to face the biggest growth we've ever had up in the next 12 months. So we're excited about the growth, what's about to take place with this amazing company. So tonight I'm going to share with you 3 of our guests' top products that she uses, but she's going to share a special testimony tonight as it relates to a product that we'll be launching very soon. So I'm going to share with you 3 of the products tonight. The first product is the Iosa Detox Tea. This is a product that I absolutely love. Ladies and gentlemen, you drink 2 8-ounce cups a day, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner, 4 ounces with an optional snack. Ladies and gentlemen, this tea right here, it filters the toxins, parasites, worms, intestinal sludge out of our body, from our liver, our lungs, our heart, our kidneys. It flushes those things out of our body, filtering our body of those toxins so that our bodies will perform at optimal level. You're going to sleep better. Your skin is going to look better. You're going to feel better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. But you're going to feel better from the inside out. And this product right here is going to change your life forever. All right. Our next product, it is the NutriBurst. This NutriBurst, it is a liquid vitamin. It gets 98% absorption into the bloodstream. This product right here, you guys, it's got so many great goodies in it. I call it whole food greens in a bottle. You take 1 tablespoon, which is equivalent to the nutrients that's in 10 salads. So for me, 1 tablespoon I can do. I can't eat 10 salads a day, and it's going to give me everything that I need on a daily basis. It's going to give you great energy. It's going to give you mental clarity. It's going to actually aid and support when you actually go in detox. It's going to replenish your body. And so you definitely need to get the NutriBurst along with the Iosa Detox Tea. The last product I'll share with you, it is the chaga. This product right here, you guys, is so powerful. It is a Siberian mushroom. This product right here goes into the body. It finds what's going on and it destroys it. It helps with anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antiviral. It helps with cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it. What I can tell you, this product is so powerful. You can actually open it up, which this is a capsule, a vegetable capsule. You can open it up, put it in a shot glass of hot water, and you drink it as a hot, like a tea. And this product goes in right away and starts to work and try to find the things that's going on negative in your body. You're going to feel totally amazing, and it's going to blow your mind of the results, because that's what we're going for, is the results. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you these 3 products I'll share with you. We have well over 40 products. I can go all night long talking about our amazing products. That's how impactful and intentional they are. And I want to encourage you, to definitely get your questions answered on the things that you want to accomplish. Whatever you want to accomplish, whether it's to detox, whether it's to have energy, whether it's to have a nutritional product that can actually get 98% absorption, a vitamin that can do it, whether it is essential oils or skincare or coffee, we have those products right here that we can service with you right away. And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest that I'm so excited about introducing. I'll share with you this woman 4 years, 4 months ago. I'd have been a little bit longer than that because it took me a minute to get started, maybe less than 30 days I got started. But I can tell you that when she messaged me, she told me, she said, "Hey sis," she said, "my husband and I are about to join forces with Total Life Changes, and we want to join forces with you and Darnell." And when she said that, little did she know that I had been praying and asking God for confirmation about joining this amazing company. So when you talk about alignment and obedience, that's exactly what happened there. He leveraged and used her to bring me into Total Life Changes because he told me he wasn't done with me yet with network marketing. But through this, you guys, we were in another company together. And, from afar, she was my upline. And I had so much respect for her. I looked at her and I said, man, this is a strong woman of God. This is a wife. This is a mother at that time when I first met her. Now she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a grandmother. Okay. She is a entrepreneur, and I call her a serial entrepreneur because truly she is really making room for her gifts that God has given her. And God says that in the Bible, he'll make rooms for our gifts and talents. And she certainly is opening up the doors and helping so many people across the country free themselves. You know, one of her quotes is exposure brings closure. And, you know, to see her last week, you know, share her testimony, you know, it really does bring closure. You can actually grow and move from beyond where you're at when you're dealing with different things in your life. And so I like to bring forward to the platform an incredible woman, a woman of God, a mom, a sister, you know, an auntie, you know, a wife, the upgrader, half of the upgraders, okay? My ambassador, my sponsor, my friend, my $1 million girlfriend that I have so much respect for. And I just absolutely, truly adore her. And I'm just so honored to have her on this platform tonight. So I'm going to bring forward none other than Tanya Joyner-Scott. Take it away, Ms. Scott.
Oh, wow. Incredible. Thank you so much, Dr. Kimberly Edwards. I tell you, I sit here, I'm listening to you, got me all giddy and smiling and everything. I thank God for you. Honored that we were able to come together and partner, and to know that God would even use me to be the one to bring the answer. But the connection in and of itself has truly been a blessing. And we just thank God for you and for Darnell. And we thank you so much for joining us here in Total Life Changes. Good evening, everyone. I'm telling you, I always consider it an honor when I get the opportunity to share. So to be here with you on tonight, to be a part of Your Story Matters, and just to be able to share a little bit about, you know, some things that I've been dealing with, and share with you even about my time here with Total Life Changes, what brought me here, and the things that I've been experiencing now for the past couple of years. So let's just jump right on into it, okay? As you heard with Dr. Kimberly, I've actually made contact with her about 4.5, close to 5 years ago, talking about partnership, wanting her to partner with us in something that we were about to embark upon, which is being here in Total Life Changes. My husband and I had been introduced to the company about 5 or 6 months prior to us actually really getting started. But what we did was enrolled. So my brother and sister-in-law, Greg and Lanika Scott, they're executive ambassadors here, and they actually introduced us to the opportunity. I said yes, and then 2 days later, I basically changed my mind. I had a lot of reservations because I had fear. I talked myself out of it. I didn't feel like I really deserved to do anything like this, and I was afraid, and I was really afraid of success a whole lot more than I was even afraid of failure. So I backed away. Once my husband received a call from his employer that his job had been eliminated, that's when we actually got involved again. Greg and Lanika reached back out to us, and they basically said, you guys really do need to take a look at this company. And that's what humbled me. You know, we had no income coming into the household, so now let's get started. Those who know me know that I cannot attach myself to anything that I don't believe in. Now, one of the things I did do is I trusted them, and I began to just pay attention and listen. And they actually flew us out to Vegas, and we were in Vegas for one of the first conferences that the company had actually had. I actually went around asking different people why they were there, and everybody said to me the products. People kind of looked at me kind of like, you know, you here at a conference and you're asking that, and it was product from one person after another. That impressed me. As I got started with the company, I actually started realizing something I started saying very early on was, it's different here. And the thing that felt so different is much of what you heard when Dr. Kim opened up this broadcast is we had a CEO who really cared. We had people that were here that really seemed like they cared and they wanted to help. Then they were offering things where people were actually finding results based on what it is that they were using. That was awesome to me. Now, some people might say, oh, why shouldn't it be? But honestly, it just really was. And it made me feel good. We got started. She talked about the 3 products that I use. They're my favorite. Everybody should detox. When I talk to people now, my thing is, the detox tea, that NutriBurst needs to be in everybody's household, okay? So that's something that I've used. When I started in this business, I was able to lose 35 pounds in 39 days. My husband lost 24 pounds in 14 days. My energy level is up. Things are happening, going around. Y'all, I felt some kind of good. It was absolutely amazing. We got started here. Things began to grow, began to develop. Being able to basically having no income, but now being able to pay bills, pay things in advance, putting our children inside of different programs and things that we were unable to do before. Life was truly changing here. I can remember saying to people, this is total life changes. And I'm like, I don't care where you put the emphasis, we would speak that in any and all that we do. There's going to be a total life change. There's a total life change. Or this is total life changes. I don't care where you put the emphasis. That's what was happening here. People were experiencing things that was different. And that's what I had. Let's fast forward. So now the products, I'm liking them. Life is happening. Things are going on. So then Tanya began to experience some things, but I didn't say anything about it. I can remember being in my home in a closet, and I remember hanging up clothes in the closet. In there hanging up clothes, but all of a sudden I felt like I was moving at the speed of a freight train. And actually, if you can get a visual of this, can you imagine where you're sitting there watching something on your phone, or a monitor, but you hit fast forward? So if you hit fast forward, it speeds everything up, right? You fast forward on your remote control with the TV, it's speeding through that commercial, right? Well, I was sitting in there hanging up clothes in my closet, but I felt like I was moving like this. And I could feel, but honestly, I was moving like this. And I knew it. It's amazing how so much is happening in the mind. I'm actually moving like that, but it was feeling like this. And I can remember stopping, shaking, breathing, and getting myself together until it released. But I said nothing to no one. Months go by, weeks. There are times I felt like I was literally having out-of-body experiences. It's the best way that I can explain it. Those types of things was happening. I said nothing to no one. I actually even just really began to pray. I'm like, Lord, are you talking to me? Is there anything you're trying to show me, share with me? I'm just being attentive. But this is the type of stuff that continued to happen. And this one particular day in August 2017, we had moved, different things happening. I could feel myself even beginning to pick weight back up again. So now I'm gaining weight, and I'm constantly trying so hard, to get it off. It just wasn't coming as it did before. I began to deal with inflammation. Even now, there's so much inflammation that would come up in my body. There's puffiness in my face. There'd be some weeks I look at myself now and I'm like, wow, this is great, wonderful, want to take a selfie. And then there's other times I look and I'm like, Lord, I look so puffy. I look at pictures. I started not feeling good about myself again. Those types of things was happening. So now it's August 2017. We take our son to school. We're dropping him off, and I have again what feels and seems like an out-of-body experience. And this time, we're getting back onto the main highway, and I look to my husband. He's driving, and I basically say to him, something's going on with me. I'm not quite sure why or what it is, but I would love for you just to kind of keep an eye on me. Can you just kind of watch? And I began to describe to him as best I could what it is that I was experiencing. And he listened and he says, okay. So as the days go on, now he's beginning to notice some things, and the things just seem to begin to heighten even the more. And I'll say this, let me finish this part and I'll make that point. So he's watching, and now as he's watching, he's actually watching me have these out of body experiences. But and then I say something. And so there's something now that I'm beginning to say. And I simply was saying, that's right. That's right. I don't hear myself speak. I don't know that I'm saying anything at all. I'm just having them. We go through this for months. I find myself going into a deep depression. It's amazing. You're out here. There are things that you're doing. You're operating, you're an entrepreneur, there are other things that you're launching, you're people in need, there's different things happening, going. You're a mommy, you're a wife, you're in ministry, you got all of these going on. And it's like, what in the world is going on with me? But the interesting thing is I was very familiar with the feeling because years before, prior to Total Life Changes, prior to it even being introduced to us, before my brother and sister-in-law were even a part of it, I was dealing with this depressive state that actually come upon me. And I can remember it, oh my gosh, in it for a while. And I can remember driving down a main highway in our city, and a friend of mine calls me. And for some reason, I just knew she had something to say. I'm like, what? What you want? What? And she was like, the devil trying to kill you? And it was like, because I felt that, but I had spoken it to no one. But I remember that feeling. I remember being in such a depressive state. I remember sometimes people would say where you don't want to get up the next day. I didn't want to go to bed at night. See, it's something with that. I didn't care to go to bed at night to have to get up the next day. I didn't want to go to bed at night. And I remember saying something to this recently, as I shared this recently with another group, and a husband and wife were there together, and he pointed to his wife, and it was like, that's how she was. And that kind of surprised me. I'm like, she didn't want to go to bed either. He was like, she didn't want to go to bed at night. And I thought, wow, just to kind of hear it again. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say something I can say it for people, but let me even just say this to husbands. One thing I can tell you about a woman that she likes is to be understood. If you just can even understand how I'm feeling, if you can even just understand what it is that I'm saying, we appreciate that so much. And it was like, for me, even in that moment, I felt like, man, maybe, it ain't so crazy to know that someone else had that same type of feeling, but that's how it was for me. And as I'm driving back home with my friend on the phone with me, again, this is years ago, she calls my sister for my sister to meet her at our home for prayer, deliverance, and everything that needed to take place. I'm driving myself back. You would not believe the weight that had come upon me in that moment. But when I tell you that there was something, that spirit there trying to take me out, it was trying to take me out literally at that time. I could barely take one step after another to even make it up to the front door of my home. My husband gets a call. He comes out to meet me, to literally just bring me into the house. I dealt with that. So here I am, 2017, going to go into 2018. And when this began to happen, I recognized it because I remembered this thing coming on before. So where my husband would say things to me like, people there, they to love on you, but I come home and I find you just laying here in this fetal position I couldn't explain. Here I am over the past year, and I'm just sitting here in the home, and I'm balled up. You're trying to go get started. And I would look at him, things would just come and just overcome my very persona, and I would just burst out into tears. What's wrong? I couldn't answer. I can remember traveling to Houston, Texas, and there we are, had to speak and do different things. I'm sitting up there at the platform. I could feel this thing coming up over me. What do? I get up. I begin to walk out. He follows me out. I go out into the hallway. There is my husband. That's a good man. And so maybe those who've even followed me and heard, and you've heard me talk about him and different things, I'm telling you, I thank God for him. And I just went out there trying to get myself together, but it was like release. I had to just let the release go. Get yourself together, then you come back in to do what it is that you're called to do. That's the type of life that I had been living. This is what's been going on with me. So can I just share with you this bit before I turn it back over to Dr. Kim? I talked to you about getting started here in this company, Total Life Changes. I mentioned to you how I can't bring myself to be a part of anything that I really don't believe in. She shared with you 3 of the products that, I use every single day, and that still ain't even all. I'm drinking the second cup of our Delgado Slimming coffee right now. Okay, you will fall in love with the products for sure, and we definitely want to help you. But here I am, a part of this company, and doing the things that we're doing, living. I love who we are, what we represent, and all of that. But nothing is seeming to help me in this area. And then I find out something about this product called CBD oil. And we found out last week that CBD oil is now going to be is going to be a part of our I'm thinking store, I was going to say base, but our stock, what's going to be a part of our inventory. We're going to have CBD oil now that we're going to be able to offer to everybody throughout this entire world. And this is a product that I had heard about and someone sharing more information with me. I remember as we were listening, I remember my husband saying, let's go to this place. There was this little lady here in Wake Forest, North Carolina. She was working out of a boutique and she set up within their boutique. And I'm just in there that particular day. Here's the thing. We really hadn't even heard a lot at that time. What we did, I'm just walking around the boutique because I like to see cute stuff. She's back there in the corner, nestled. I walk in. So who are you? She introduces. I look up on the wall. She has things written about CBD oil and she talks about seizures because now I've been diagnosed as having seizures. So here I am with all of these absent things happening in my mind. I didn't know what was going on. We finally went and had some tests done only to find out that I'm having seizures. They never said anything to me about the depression. I just knew also that this is something I was dealing with as well. They actually prescribed some medicine. When I looked at the side effects of the medicine, and one of the side effects was anxiety and depression, along with a list of other things, I said, there's absolutely no way I can take that medicine. So now I'm in this store. I look up here. I see her talk about it. Now I'm hearing more information. Guess what Dexter and Tanya finally get? We get some CBD oil. Tanya begins to take it. I was having, on average, 4 to 5 seizures a day. On average, okay? The depressiveness, all that kind of stuff is going on. Y'all, do you know what? I started with that CBD oil. The next day, I didn't have any seizures. The day after that, I didn't have any seizures. We watched it. Are you hearing me? So now things begin to change. All of a sudden, even for me within my energy, my how I felt, that depression that I was feeling, the anxiety, all of those things that I was feeling like day to day to day, day by day. I wasn't feeling it anymore. And I was finally coming to a place of getting back, just to that joyful self that I am. And I'm telling you, that thing blessed me so. So I'm grateful. I give God glory. And to know now that our company is going to be offering this product as well, I would tell our team oftentimes, y'all, we got power in our hands. There's a lot that I can tell you. Anybody who knows us in Total Life Changes outside, been to anything that we've been a part of where we can talk about the company. I love the products. The testimonies that come forth, the stories that are told, the things that they have done, how they've helped so many people, one testimony after another. You're talking about doctors asking people, what are you doing? And then they tell them, well, I want you to keep that going. You're talking about people who actually go back to their jobs and they're now on their jobs and they can go. And because this particular product is doing this for them, the doctor is saying, I want you to get it. So they're able to pay for it through their medical insurance. That's the kind of stuff that's been happening. It feels good. It feels good. And it feels good to know that I can take CBD oil and I don't have to, I love her. I thank God for her, but I don't have to go back to the boutique. I can actually just get it for myself. And what we all want to do now is to do it for you. What could you be dealing with that we could help you with? That's what makes being a life changer so good. I give it back over to you, Dr. Kim.
Wow, totally amazing. Thank you so much, Tanya. But you know what? I have a couple of questions for you. And before I go and start to ask a question, ask the question, I wanted to kind of share with our viewers what the CBD oil is. And ours is called Harmony. And the IOSA Harmony is a CBD oil that is said to help with relieving pain, reducing anxiety and depression, weight loss, yay, as well as many other symptoms. It is recommended to take the drops in a titrate until the desired result is reached. The other thing I heard on the news from some doctors is that it's good with helping lowering blood sugars for those diabetics out there. So I was excited to hear that. And especially being that I am a diabetic as well. But now I want to get into some questions that I've written down and more. I mean, I'm really full with a lot of stuff because we have so much to cover. And, you know, when we talk about having a total life change, our products do that. But what we find is that the stories that are underlying through the process of whatever we've gone through and the products are helping us now, those stories matter because that's going to free somebody up. That's going to open somebody up to understand that there's a solution for what they may be going through and to know that they'll be able to help somebody. And I know tonight from your testimony, you've been able to free some people. And I'm grateful that you opened up and shared what you did tonight. But I do want to go back and ask you a couple of questions. You talked about you recognized that you were gaining weight back, your face was puffy, and emotionally, internally, you weren't feeling good about that. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people see all the glory and they don't really know the story and how things like that can affect, you know, a person. But in the end, we still come out, we smile, we help people and, you know, do whatever we have to do to help people. And nobody will ever know that we're going through whatever we're going through.
Right.
And so tell me about how did that, you know, really make you feel? I know you talked about depression, but when did you know that the depression had taken a hold of your body from, you know, recognizing the gaining weight and things like that? And I know that, you know, we're in the health and wellness industry, but people don't understand there's underlying causes of why certain things happen. So talk to me a little bit about how that makes you feel and how did that make you feel and how were you able to overcome that?
Excellent question. How does it make you feel? It affected just my self-confidence, my self-esteem, even to be a part of the health and wellness industry, to have lost the weight that I lost before. You know, I've had photo shoots and different things I've done. We had the TV show and different things that we were doing and a part of. And then all of a sudden to see this weight coming in and back on you and what people could possibly see, you know, and think it's like I'm not really doing the things that I need to do. And it's really funny because a lot of times people would think, my husband would say, like, I don't eat out. Now I eat, we love food now, mind you. I love good stuff and all of that. But I could go all day and not eat, only to find out too that that's part of my problem is I need to keep my metabolism going. But I'm not the type of person that would just sit and eat all day. That's not me. You know, you want to get up and take care of yourself. So how did it feel if my self-esteem was affected? To get up and to look at myself, there was embarrassment and I was ashamed. I shared before too how someone sent me a message actually and pretty much called me out on it and was very insultive in what they were doing. You know how someone can send you something and it's like they're trying to be helpful, but the way that they're talking to you and the things that they're saying, that's pretty much what I got. So when I tell you that, like having to take that deep breath in and really say, okay, you have to know who you are. And let me just say this too, you also have to really realize that, you know, the enemy comes, and I talk about this often, to steal, kill, and destroy. And what he wants is your purpose. He wants your destiny. So what he would attack would be that very thing. Wants my self-esteem. And a lot of times what and this is the thing, he wants your mind. You know, he wants how you think, because if I can stop you from thinking a certain way about yourself, if I can stop you from believing, if I can make you think, you know, that you're not worthy of, that you have no value, then that's when action isn't taken. That's what he does. Don't give it to him. And I'm grateful even to be able to share and to talk about it, because people can look at our testimonies, you can see the things that we do and all of that, and still know that the attacks will come. But how are you going to deal with it? And so my thing is, regardless of what happens to you in your life, you still are the one that have the control. Does it mean that it won't happen. No, the word talks to us even about trials and tribulations. We know that these things will come, but it's up to me to come into agreement with the things that take place for it to have its power. So even with that being said, so you got to go through tests. How many of us, you go to school and there are things that they teach you a lot, then it's time for the test. Well, you weren't ready for the test until you went through the lesson. So there might be a lesson that you have to go through. There may be things that you have to endure, but when the test comes, now what? If you don't pass it, maybe you did all right. Did you get a C? You see, did you get a B? If you want to keep taking to get the A, that may be what it is that you have to do. That's what I had to do. So that's why there were things that I could recognize, and I can remember even saying, I can feel the attack, and I know that's what's going on. What do I need to do? What needs to be my response? How do I need to see this differently? So now I'm gonna tell you, there are things that will come, but my response is different. There's things that will happen, but my response is different because I know better than to come into alignment. See, there was a time when I really came into agreement a lot faster several years ago. I went through that period a lot longer several years ago. This time, I didn't go through it as long. It's happening. I'm trying. What do we do? You figure I'm exposing it. Exposure brings closure. I'll say to my husband, I'm not hiding anymore. He operates in secrecy.
That's right.
He wants us to hide. He don't want us to say anything. That's how he keeps the power. It's an abuser. It's the same thing with domestic violence. Right. The abuser say, be quiet. I'm going to hide you. Nobody know where you are. You stay right over here. And he's an abuser. Don't let him. Expose his behind. And I'm telling you, there's nothing that you can't do. It's nothing that you can't have. And that's just it. So it was a matter of coming up out of that and not coming into agreement with them.
Amen. Amen. All right. So I have another question for you. A lot of people commented depression is real, and depression really is real. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you had suicide. You had a suicide. Tell me a little bit about that. You had a call of suicide on your life. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. Was that part of it? I want to make sure I'm in conjunction, asking the right question. Mm-hmm. You didn't want to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
Was that relation to having that suicidal thought, or, tell me a little bit about that. Was that part of that deep depression that brought that enemy to you believe? Or tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of people out there are suffering with depression. A lot of people out here are suffering with deep depression, where they do have suicidal thoughts. I'll just confess myself out of transparency. I've had suicidal thoughts. It's been many years ago, but I know how it made me feel. And it was that good friend that called me just in the nick of time, just kind of similar to your situation, but to tell me, God's got something bigger for you, and depression is really something, and you got to allow, like you said, not allow the enemy to take control of your mind. Mm-hmm. But tell me a little bit about that, and not wanting to go to bed at night. See, a lot of times people don't understand, but with our products right now, we have a lot of products that can calm us, give us great energy, make us feel good internally, but we still got to deal with the underlying issues to make us more healthy. So tell me a little bit about that.
The suicide, what was it like? And I would imagine it could be different for different people. But first, you even asked about the going to bed at night, and that's my thing, because honestly, in my logical mind, I felt like I probably just don't want to get up. But I guess it's about the same, to get up, to do it all over again. But just to know, here I am, I'm up in the day, and I'm going through my day, and I'm doing what needs to be done. Kids in school, dinner, groceries, pay bills, handle your business. I'm going back even to then, okay? So here I am doing what I need to do. So I can just remember as the night is falling and getting your baths, let's get your homework done and everything, and now it's time to go to bed. For me, see if this even makes sense. I'm up. Why do I have to go to bed to have to get up and do this all over again? I don't want to get up and do it all over again. I hated the thought of going to bed to get up and do it all over again. That's what it was like for me. That's what it was like for me. And my vision. So the suicide was a matter of, I wasn't like, well, I'm just sitting there seeing myself hurt myself, but what I was seeing was my funeral. I was seeing myself gone. And then I would be thinking like, well, if I go, they'll be all right. Things like that. That's what I was dealing with personally. And even this second time when it began to happen about a year and a half ago, and I'm seeing that I was seeing my funeral again, and I recognize it. So I'm coming against it faster. See, before, remember, I was dealing with that. I said nothing. It was my friend calling me that it was exposed, because I didn't tell anybody ever. This time I said something. This time I said something. So that's what I'm saying. It's just difference. The enemy would have you to think that you see that something's wrong with you. That's why I tell you, I like to tell people and let people know as well, you know, when you go through things, deliverance doesn't mean it doesn't come again. Deliverance, again, don't come into agreement. Right. Think about how you can say something like, oh, you're going to get up out of here, but then they come back and knock on the door. It's up to you to let them back in. You see? So deliverance doesn't mean that you don't ever get the knock on the door again. Right. They always want to try to regain an entryway, you know, looking for even that spirit of familiarity. If I can find something familiar or something that can trigger you, or maybe something like this can hurt you, let me back in. Didn't that hurt? Come on, let me in. No, don't do it. Growth.
Wow, that's right. That is powerful, powerful. I have one other question, and I'm being led by the Spirit to do this. So the CBD oil, your seizures, they went from 5 a day now to 1 every couple of days, or maybe even not that, right? Or to lasting 5 minutes to now, 1 minute or 2 minutes, something like that?
You know, I don't even completely know. That might even be a better Dexter question too, my husband, because he will witness it. You know, I know we had a meeting recently. You know, we all got together for our Super Saturday, and that we had in January, earlier this month. And I'm down on the floor recording. You know, our COO John LeCarry, while he's training us, and in that moment, I had one. Nobody knew. And he's sitting over there and I'm recording. And after a while, I look over at him and I said, and it was maybe 20 minutes later or so, I don't know. And I said, I think I had a seizure. And he said, you did. And he said, I took some pictures just so I can see it. I'm like, wow. He said, but you never moved the camera. I kept it on the whole while. And I actually just the other day went and looked at that picture and saw just a gaze, just spaced out, you know, kind of look. So that's how that one particularly happened. He mentioned sometimes, you know, my finger get to flicking. I don't know that. The things that I say, I don't know. I don't hear. So a lot of that I wouldn't even necessarily remember. But I can say this, for the amount where I was having 5 or so a day daily. Okay, it was happening. That's what was going on, down to where I go days and I don't have any. And then one may pop up. So what I'm also trying to identify are triggers. Like, what's triggering that? You know, is it something that I've eaten? You know, is it the anxiety? There are things that you could think about. I'm telling you, your mind is powerful. So, you know, we deal with that. Y'all, we love the mind. So come talk to us. We love to talk about that. But there are things that you could think about. There are things that you could happen and experience, a reminder, and it gets you going. Are you worried about anything? You know, there are things that would just trigger it that could cause it to happen and take place. So it's a matter of us just trying to identify. And he'll ask me, what were you just thinking about? You know, what were you doing? What was that? What's going on, kind of thing. And again, we talk about the entryway, you know, that the enemy tries to take just to gain access. So it just changes. It's different. He told me I have him in my sleep. He wakes up and he can hear that it could happen in the sleep, but I don't hear or recall anything that was spoken. I can't even hear myself talk.
Right.
Right now, you can, everybody say something. Did you hear it? I don't hear it, but I can see you and I'm watching you, but I cannot, I'm not processing. And I can see hear you. I can hear words, but what you're saying is not processing. And then the remnant goes until I finally can come back into myself.
My goodness.
Yep.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys heard it here. Ms. Tanya Joyner Scott, Mrs. Tanya Joyner Scott, shared her testimony tonight. And what a powerful testimony tonight. And I just thank God for you. I thank God for, allowing, using you to be a vessel for the kingdom. This is for every person that may be out there. And that's why it's so important for us to share this video, because it's certainly going to help somebody. But I do want to just kind of share about the CBD oil again.
Yes.
The IOSA Harmony, for our viewers, is a CBD oil that is said to help with relieving pain. Do you have any pain? Reducing anxiety and depression. And we just talked about a segment. Part of the segment was about depression and anxiety. So this product right here is going to be very beneficial for those that may be going through that. Weight loss, sometimes we all struggle with something as it relates to weight loss, the up and down battles of gaining, losing, losing. But we have so many other products as well. But to know that this can be a support and aid in your weight loss is pretty powerful, because it's going to do not just one thing, it's going to do multiple things to support you. And that's the beautiful thing about the CBD oil. But as well as many other symptoms, as I share with you, doctors have shown that this actually helps with your blood sugars, lowering your blood sugar. So if you are diabetic and you're looking for something to kind of aid in helping that, it's going to support that. And then you just take it as you're needing it. So you don't have to take it for the rest of your life. You just take it until you get the results that you're looking for. Another pre-sale is pretty similar, the IOSA Alleviate. It's the IOSA Alleviate. It's a CBD topical rub that is said to help reduce pain when applied to the affected area. It is advised that the topical users should titrate the amount used until the desired result is reached. So do you have chronic pain in your knees, your hands, your legs, your arms? I mean, wherever you got the pain at, this is something that you could penetrate and rub into your body, and it's going to help you. So these pre-sales are going to be starting very soon. I encourage you to get back with the person that invited you on this watch party and get at the top of their list, because once they open up the pre-sales, we want to be prepared, locked and loaded to get you at the top of the list, because I guarantee you it's going to sell out. They put it live by accident last week and it sold out quickly. So they're going to be bringing it back. We don't know when, but we need to be ready. So go ahead and get at the top of the list of the person that invited you to their watch party. Well, Miss Joyner, stop.
Let me share this real quick, Dr. King. Let me just share this. If you remember in one of our groups, the group chat that we have, and when Jennifer Champion, one of the nurses as a part of our team, she said this. So I just want to share it with you too, even as you think about it. Everything that she just shared with you, reading about it, I'm telling you, that's the kind of stuff that really excites us around here, because we know that we have things that will really help and we want to. But she was like, man, this is amazing. And so Jennifer says this. She says, FYI, do you all know that chaga is great for your dogs? Well, CBD oil is amazing for them too. Not only are we hitting the human market, but also the pets. She says you can market oil to both. And that was so as a blessing for us, because there are people out here who actually, we want to help you. Maybe it's your dog. What is it that's going on? The chaga, the CBD oil, both of those pets. Are they dealing with anything? We just want to put it out there because we want to be able to help you, the whole family. We want the whole family taken care of. So get in touch with us. As Dr. Kim said, we really want to be a blessing to you.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you. I know my baby might need some.
I was about your baby too.
But I so appreciate you, Tanya, and thank you so much for joining Your Story Matters this evening. And for our viewers and our life changers that are on this live feed, we thank you as well. For our viewers, that are our guests, I didn't go into how you can get started, but let me just say this. If you have a heart that loves to help people and you heard anything remotely, as you can tell that we all here at Total Life Changes have a total life change. It starts with us, being a product of the product and trying the amazing products and enjoying them. But through that, our lives are transformed from the inside out. And we're able to help people not just with the products, but to share our experiences and to allow people to understand that they're not in it by themselves. There are people just like them that may be going through depression. There are people that may be going through divorce. There are people like myself that have sugar cravings, and I feel like I'm a sugar addict. And so I can relate to that. We have so many great stories that we're going to share on Your Stories Matters. And so we want you to know that your story matters too. And so we want you to get back with the person that invited you tonight on Your Story Matters and get your questions answered. And know that you matter to us. And we're delighted that you took the time out this evening to hear more about Total Life Changes and to hear this amazing story from this individual, Tanya Joyner Scott, who blessed us all this evening. We're so grateful and honored that she opened up and was transparent with all of us. And transparency is the key to everything. And I can tell you that I've learned so much from you. And I'm so honored to know that you are my friend, you my sister, and my business partner. And so God bless each and every one of you. We thank you that you joined us this evening. And until this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back again. And I want you to remember that your story matters. Good night.
Good night.